Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the channel. If you can't tell, we're not at the houseboat. We're outside. It's February 2023, and we're excited that warmer weather we now can see is just around the corner for us. We hope that everyone had some great time around the holidays. We took some time away from the channel, spent that time with our friends and family, and we're looking forward to creating some more content for you this year. We have some really exciting things planned. So make sure that you stick around because you're really going to enjoy what we have coming up just in the next couple months for y'all. Today, we're going to walk through what we spent owning our houseboat in 2022, which was our second full year of boat ownership. We did a video like this last year. It was really well received, and so we thought, why not do it again this year? If you missed the video that we did for our 2021 boat expense, it's right up here. It's not a requirement that you watch it, but if you want to, again, it's right up here, and it'll also be in the description down below. So, why are we talking about money, how much we spent? It does feel a little bit like airing out dirty laundry, but we want to be completely transparent with you on what we've spent on our houseboat. There are definitely more expensive ways to go houseboating, and there are definitely less expensive ways to go houseboating. We feel like ours is more of a middle ground, and we want to give you the hard numbers of what we're spending on our houseboat. So if anyone is looking to start that boat buying journey, we can kind of be a good barometer for you, whether you want to do it more expensive or less expensive. We want to give you that information. So with that in mind, I'm going to start my screen share and let's jump into what we spent in 2022. When we originally set out on our adventure and buying this houseboat back in 2020, we created two separate spreadsheets to help us set our budget. We created the cost to buy a houseboat, and then we created the second spreadsheet of actually ongoing cost and owning a houseboat. We still have those videos up and available, so if you want to see our boat buying journey, you can check it out right here. And the cost of buying a houseboat, that worksheet is in that document. And the cost of owning a houseboat is as well. So we have a new spreadsheet right here that we're going to work through that's specific to our 2022 costs. And we also have it broken down by the recurring fixed costs that we know monthly or quarterly. And we have the other costs that are the costs that come up, such as maintenance and things. And we're going to dive into this a little bit more. But let's stay here at the top and talk about the fixed cost and how that aligns to everything that we had budgeted. If you look in column C, these are our monthly or quarterly payments. Column D and E are reflective of 2022 and 2021. And then finally, over here on column G is how much over or below we were on the budget. Our houseboat payment didn't change. It's still just over $1,100 a month. When you sign on the dotted line, that number will always stay the same unless for some reason you try and refinance your boat or do other things with it. Our quarterly slip fee went up about $400 a quarter. So that was an increase that we had to account for in 2022. Surprisingly, our houseboat insurance actually went down. And what we did is we bundled both of our cars, our houseboat, and the house that we moved into with a single insurance carrier. And we're able to bundle and discount and save a little bit. So saving on insurance is actually a really good thing, given what's all going on today. Our water is fixed at $5 a month. That didn't change. In 2022, we were not at the houseboat quite as much. And so our power went down. And our dock box is now included in our monthly quarterly fee. We did spend a little bit more money on the internet, and I'm still now tempted to get Starlink for an RV. So stick around for that. Maybe we can keep some of these internet costs in a little bit more control. And finally, the pump out. Like we said, we were not at the boat quite as much this past year as we were in 2021. And so our pump outs were a little bit less. So overall, from our budget, based upon the variances in the pump outs and the electricity, we were about $886 under budget this year, which is always good. And to reflect that, we've put it in green. The second section of the spreadsheet are one-time payments that come up, such as oil change and maintenance and washing, that most individuals that own a houseboat are going to have to account for. So we've put ours down here this year, and I'll very quickly walk you through them and explain any big differences that we've seen. If you missed our video of washing our houseboat for the first time, you can check it out right here. But needless to say, it is a multi-person project if you want to do it in one afternoon. And having a soon-to-be 3-year-old running around, cleaning our houseboat isn't something that we have the time for, and it can get really slippery. So the $960 that we spend for the crew to come up in the springtime and clean our boat, wash the pollen, is money well spent. We spent it last year, and you better believe we have it budgeted for this upcoming year. The fuel that we spent, we had budgeted about $2,200 a year. 2021, we came in way under budget on that. 2022, we still came in under budget, and we were surprised because gas got to be over $6 a gallon at the marina, and we spent significantly more time away from the dock this past year. So we're still going to hold in at budgeting $2,250 per year. Who knows what's going to happen with gas prices, and it's always good to see under budget throughout the year, but always know that we have the money to go houseboat camping when we want to. This year, our property taxes went down ever so slightly. We're still going to hold this at about 1% per year, but our boat is over 20 years old now, so I think Forsyth County might keep dropping that a little bit, which is always a good thing to see. We didn't have to do the DNR registration in 2022, but we will this year, and we'll renew that in September. We always have our Boat US membership in case there's an emergency and we're away from the dock. It's only $100, and it's money well spent, I think. We've done several videos on winterizing our houseboat. Here in Georgia, it doesn't get cold enough for long enough that we really need to go through draining all of the water out of the engine blocks. We have an extreme heater that we put down in the bilge in the wintertime, and it keeps the generator and the engines in that area well above freezing, probably in the mid 40 degrees. We have some winterizing videos up here and down in the description below if you want to check that out. The marina convenience fees and late fees are just me dropping the ball and not getting everything in on time. There's a convenience fee if I pay with a credit card online, and the only way to avoid that is by paying with a check. So I probably just going to have to get some checks and start putting them in the mail, because it sure would be nice to save nearly $400 a year in fees that are just kind of like flushing money down the toilet. Completely on me. And we wouldn't have a boat video if we didn't at least talk about some level of maintenance that everyone's going to have to do. Last year, I spent a couple $100 on some oil change equipment, and so didn't have to buy that again this year, and we changed it late in the year in 2021, so didn't have to do any oil change on the engines. I wanted to make sure that the impellers, which pull water up from the outdrive and run it around the engine, had been replaced. They recommend doing that every couple years because if the impeller breaks, your engine can overheat, and that can lead to catastrophic damage. So that was one of the big ticket items for this year, was having the impellers from the engines and generator replaced. The position of the oil filter and the generator, how to change that oil, was a little bit clunky, and being almost 40 years old, I just didn't feel like trying to deal with that. So I paid a little bit extra and had someone help us out. If you've noticed on some videos, Captain Doug, our engine thermostats were not working correctly, so we had those replaced. And our fuel gauge is still not working. We had some estimates for that. And you can see some additional maintenance that we've did. I'm not going to walk through every one of these, but we're going to have a whole separate video on all the maintenance that we've done last year, because it was significantly more than we did in 2021. So this past year, if we look at the comparisons, we can see what we budgeted. Again, we're about $3,000 under our budget, and year over year, we have saved about $9,000 from the surplus that we have from being under budget. A lot of that went to our new lithium-ion batteries from Battleborn. We've been testing that out this past summer and fall, and we're ready to go test them out again in the spring. And so it's nice to know that when we have these budget surpluses, there's going to be other maintenance items or things that we want to get for our boat that we can funnel that money into. So as we can see here, the lithium ion batteries were about $6,200. We still have $3,300 remaining in surplus. That's where it's going to stay, in a high yield savings account, not in a crypto account, because we want to make sure that money is readily available should we need it. We hope everyone found this helpful. We think it's very important to, again, be transparent about what our costs are. Owning a boat is no small feat, and we want to make this an enjoyable journey for you. So please let us know what your budget looks like, if you might be over or under in some areas, and we'd love to engage with everyone through the comments section. As you can see, summer's just around the corner for us. We're getting really excited, so come back in the next couple weeks. We have some exciting things to share with y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.